Is he a bull? Is he a bear?
He's just a guy on an axe.
Hello everyone. Do you like dilution? Yeah, me neither. But it looks like there's more coming. This is from Kendall Payne, and he posted, "There is such rich irony in Mullen hiring anti-toxic lender crusader Mark Basile to review future funding initiatives, only for the first funding it receives to contain terms that are even more dilutive than all of its past agreements, seemingly with Basile's stamp of approval." But look, don't take my word for it, don't take Kendall's word for it. Go ahead and do the research yourself, or if you don't know how to read the filings, maybe ask questions in a space, because that's what spaces are all about. It's for finding things out, doing DD, doing research. It's a part of it, because you can ask questions and more people can search for the answers. So next time Ernest is in a space, Christina holds a space, Tim Hewitt, anybody, go ahead and ask these questions. That way you can find the answers. I would like to thank Kendall for putting out this research. Please do give him a follow at Kendall P97. This is from Mullen, what they posted a while back. This was actually December 4th, 2023, and it says, "Mullen Automotive hires Basile law firm PC to review prior financing and provide strategic review of future funding initiatives." This is from Mark Basile, and he posted on December 22nd, 2023, and it says, "The recent funding transaction announced in the company's 8K is non-dilutive, as it is not tied to any securities of the company and is much better in terms of dilution than prior funding deals. The company is on path to do away with future dilutive deals, and this is the starting point. As the company moves forward from dilution funding and its cap table and trading becomes more stable, the company would likely be a candidate for clean capital." Remember that term. It takes time to turn the battleship around. Now, fast forward to the later half of May 2024, and you have this post from Mullen Automotive, which Mark Basile himself reposted. And it says, "Mullen announces a $150 million financing commitment, which allows Mullen and Bollinger to operate and expand domestic and international commercial sales efforts. These commitments satisfies the company's capital needs over the next 13 months. Now, what's not in the headline there is that they're talking about dilution funding. But hey, let's not ask Mark Basile hard questions about this and why he is allowing dilutive funding. That's worse than it was before, because he reserved a Mullen 5. He's one of us. Mark, look, I really don't care if you reserved a Mullen M5 or not. What I care is that you said you would come on board and stop dilutive funding and toxic lenders, and you signed a deal with toxic lenders to do dilutive funding. Kendall had another post just about 6 hours ago, and it says, "Mullen's SEC filing and a bit of math reveals how utterly ridiculous is the ratio of shares that the toxic lenders receive from cashless warrant exercise, resulting in the utter destruction of retail shareholders' value due to dilution." And here is a graph that he put up, and it shows the ratio of shares to warrants going up each time they dilute. And what I like about Kendall's DD, his research, is that he puts screenshots of the SEC filings in here and even highlights it to find it better, so you can always rely on that there is actual information, actual facts to his DD. Now, let's go to one more post of his, and this was from about 2 days ago, and it says, 5 months ago, David Mitry claimed that Mullen wasn't diluting and only 70,000 warrants remained. At that time, the OS was 5.8 million shares. Yet somehow, the outstanding shares has doubled since then to 11.4 million shares that we have today. Where did all those additional shares come from, David Mitry? And that's a good question, because I remember David saying that, yeah, there's only 7,000 more warrants to be exercised, and pretty much that was it for dilution. And we all thought that it's over, and now the price can actually start to rise. Well, now we know that the share count actually doubled since that PR came out. So we now have to ask, can we believe what David Mitry says? Because I'm not saying that he's lying, but I'm saying he's not telling the truth. And you can take that as you may, whatever you want to read into. But he said one thing and another thing happened, so you tell me. Anyway, I got a lot of flack for saying that dilution would have to happen because they need to raise funding, and somehow that money has to come. And he's always done dilution before, diluted funding, so I don't think anything would be different. There was some ideas of what could be happening, but all those would have been loans or something else, which is debt. They would be acquiring debt. With the outstanding shares being so low, I kind of figured that, yes, some dilution would be coming, and I was fine with that. But a lot of you told me to stop saying dilution because we aren't sure. Well, I also said that when this happens, I believe that they might dilute down to about $2.50 before they stop, because we're getting in dangerous territory going any lower than that, because then we'll be in the same predicament we were before, trying to stay above $1. So if they were to dilute around $2.50 is where they would stop it to be safe. Well, it sounds like they've been diluting, and the price dropped all the way to $2.38 before making the run up back to just over $8. And now we see the price dropping again, and it's going back under $5. And we know that there are going to be a lot of warrants that are going to be exercised, and they're going to be sold off. Because why are we expecting something different this time if it's the same players that screwed us over 3 reverse stock splits? They're going to do the same thing. I don't see why they would do something different. And I don't see why we would expect something different the third time around. Anyway, knowing what I know that happened prior to the third reverse stock split, and it looks like the same thing is about to happen, I cannot be bullish on this company right now. This is from Post Hoc just 3 days ago, and it says, all I can hope is that CBOE opens new options and I get to buy puts before Mullen files the S1 or pre-14A, showing how much stock they'll be printing. It should be around 275 million shares just for the first 100 million. Right now, nobody believes me because I am, after all, a paid basher. And he is obviously kidding, but he is predicting that, yes, more dilution is coming. And as we saw in the filing, it's written in stone. So if you take anything away from this video today, it is ask questions. Ask questions in spaces. Ask them on people's video when they put up Mullen videos. Ask questions on Twitter, ask questions on Facebook groups, ask questions on Reddit and wherever, and make sure that you get answers. And that way, other people that see it that may have the answers, that may know how to read the readings, the filings, and they can provide answers. If not, ask questions to investor relations, ask questions to Dan Sanchez, to David Mitry in posts. Ask the questions, and hopefully we'll get answers, because the time for hoping and assuming is over. Thank you all for watching. I will see you on the next one.